there yet.
Oh no, it's there. It's just YouTube doing its thing. That's all right. We don't talk about YouTube anymore. YouTube's just doing its thing, and we refresh the page when it thinks that it's failing, but it's not. Whoa, who have we got here? Couple of people joining us. Hello, good now, wherever and whenever you are.
Aren't you supposed to say that during the show, not
right,
pre-show?
Yeah.
Don't use up all of your
Lines.
your lines for.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Who's in the chat today?
I am.
Me too. That makes two of us.
This is our pre-show, so there's
It is.
people watching and waiting for us, and they've just got their live notifications. This is wonderful.
Yep.
I am excited about people going, oh, look, my phone just made a noise, and it's Daniel and Darrell, and they want to show me stuff.
You know what? They're probably all watching, what is it, that Apple event?
Is that today?
Yes. Yeah, it's something about MacBooks, and
I thought it was tomorrow my time.
it was supposed to be the 18th. Don't know.
Yeah, it is the 18th. I'm going to push play. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's
Hello,
go ahead
honey.
let's go ahead and do the show, but I'm just going to watch the Apple event.
Oh, right.
And
I knew I should have pre-recorded you.
and then I'm going to watch the Apple event, and then I'll just do some live, like you'll be talking, and then I'll just go, whoa, that's expensive. But I'll be, talking about the live event. But
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it looks like it's time. Let's get rid of this graphic and play the intro. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll get right into it. That was extraordinary.
extraordinarily loud. Wow, that intro.
I need to level that out, dial it down a bit.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to those of you that are joining us live. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know you're here. If you're catching the recording afterwards, fantastic. Throw a comment down there and let us know that you're watching. While you're doing that, though, hit the thumbs up, bump the subscribe button, and kick with the back of your foot the little bell so that you'll get reminders of when we go live. Not the front of your foot, the back. It's like a heel kick.
You make it sound like subscribe Tom Doe or some sort of.
Okay. Wonderful. I'm excited, Darrell, because we have some awesome SharePoint news to share today in today's episode. We have new private drafts for pages and news. We have the new site templates that are going to be available for us in SharePoint. And then, kind of related, it is really, Microsoft List commenting in Teams, which is SharePoint technology in the back. Today, I think, is a SharePoint episode, although we've got plenty of other things too. But
it's good to see that SharePoint is still delivering, even if under the covers in the background. It's not all about Teams in this message center, though sometimes it feels that way.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think should we? I'm going to pull an audible here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Audible?
Let's talk about the roadmap.
Oh, hey, let's do that. So, Harry, what does it mean to pull an audible?
An audible is when most people in the U.S. and those that follow American football will know it as saying, "I'm going to change the play." It's called an audible. It's quarterback running the play saying, I'm calling an audible to change the play because I see the defense is different. So we're calling call it an audible here because we just wanted to quickly talk about the roadmap. It's got a fresh spit shine, is what I call it, only because it's functionally not really different. It's not drastically changing the technology, but it's got a new look and a new feel. So it is. I think it's nice. Some giving a little bit more information and compact, and I'm liking the color codings that are happening over here about
Oh, wow.
what stage the item is in. So pretty slick. My biggest complaint about the roadmap is not fixed yet, which is I would like to have an RSS feed of specific product announcements, but that's not there yet. It's just an RSS feed of everything, but it's a new update, new look, new feel, spit shine. Yes, Joanne, spit shine. That's what it is. So we just wanted to kind of talk about that I wanted to talk about it as we get going.
Yeah, well, I mean, you brought it up just before the show started, and I went in just assuming that it was going to be there for me in little old New Zealand. I'm sorry. No,
Not yet.
I have to be jealous of this.
Although Darrell, I think it may be a cache issue or something, but maybe it's not in New Zealand yet. So
I probably have to put a switch into the address to show US or something like that.
Get a VPN or something.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I want to watch all those episodes on Netflix that I don't get to see from our tiny little catalog, and I also want to see the US version of the roadmap. So I'm going to get a VPN for that.
We are here at the 365 Mr. Sooner Show not advocating for you to cheat and use technology to watch TV shows that you're not allowed to stream from various services. Just remember that. We are not advocating that.
Oh, look, Phil's got access to it. I can actually find stuff
see?
and get lists more
Yeah.
of what he's looking for. Yeah, okay. And the other thing Joanne mentioned here was that adaptive scopes are in public preview today. We should probably get her to talk a bit about that.
Yeah. Adaptive scopes. Wonderful.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on to our first message, Daniel.
I would love to. So our first message is all about lists in Microsoft Teams. Comment and @mention people on list items in Teams. This is rolling out, begin and complete rollout for targeted release in mid-October, which is nowish, and standard release mid-October through late October, so soonish. And really, this is bringing that experience, being able to do commenting on list items, but do it within the lists, within Teams experience when we're viewing the list app in a tab or whatever. And I think this is going to help with, when you're having conversations about items, this is bringing that experience in Teams where it has only been in the list experience. So bringing that in Teams so we have that unified experience. So this is rolling out for Teams desktop, web, and mobile, which is fantastic. I absolutely love it when we have that parity with all of the apps. So again, it really is just that feature that we've experienced in List before, bring it in Teams. So, and you'll see in the screenshot that Darrell is sharing, and it's the screenshot that's in the message. I'm sorry. This is MC290874. Forgot to say that.
Ooh.
I got it just in time. This is, you're going to see the comments and be able to have that social experience commenting and be able to see what people have said in the past about this item, whether it's a contact or it's a customer or whatever it is that you're using Microsoft Lists for. So.
Look, there's something about these features, though, that we talk about bringing it into Teams. There's one thing that I want to see, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree. If we're having conversations or we're mentioning each other, it still always seems to be just the email notification.
Yeah, and I've even had trouble with email notifications here lately with Teams, the Teams client. I will get a notification and go, oh, delete that. I see that there's a notification. I'll delete it. I'll go to Teams, the client, and it's not there. The message that someone, so I'll close Teams, open it back up, still not there. I'll go to my deleted, find that message, and then click, okay, I want to view it. And it refreshes Teams somehow, and then there it is. I don't know what's going on with Teams. But anyway, so I have to sometimes rely on those email notifications from Teams. But anywho's.
All right. Well, next up, we have the view switcher for Microsoft Teams. It's a new dedicated menu and view option in Teams meetings, MC 291064. When we're in a meeting, we have a few different ways to view the audience and even focus on the content. And today it is underneath an ellipsis button. It's not easy to get to. It's a few clicks away. And if you're like me, I like to sort of change things so that I've got the gallery along the top. It's close to the webcam, so I've got some eye contact with people, and the content's just below. And when you do get it set up, it tends to remember it. But I tend to sign in and out of Teams because that's part of my job, signing into different environments. And so I'm always going back in and changing these sorts of things. Well, what we see coming in this feature is a dedicated button up the top left-hand corner. Let's do a full screen of that as well. There we go. Full screen. Clearer full screen this time. Man, the last one was really blurry. You'll have choices of the 3 modes for how you want to see the audience and yourself with them. Remember this together mode. The gallery at the top, which is the mode I was talking about, where the gallery sits and it sort of does a bit of Tetris at the top there to map in all the different people participating with their webcams. Focus and full screen mode. So if you do like to go in and out of that and get rid of some of the meeting Chrome, then you've got those choices there too. Now, the thing about this, it is going to be, let's see, available, rolling out late October and complete mid-November. And yeah, I mean, just the point is it's trying to make it easier to get to while you're in the meeting. I think it's quite helpful to those who are presenting too, because they're usually in the moment and they're just trying to focus on their presentation and their content. They don't want to be clicking away in 2 or 3 different layers, do they?
No, I agree with that. Easier access, but I'm just a little bit tired of everything moving around. And if I'm tired of it, I know users are. So, it used to be up here and then it was down in the middle and then now it's back up there and now we're switching it out. I just feel like we need to set on a UI and we need to say, here is the experience our users are going to have and we're going to stick with it for a while, because it seems like Teams is changing this 2 or 3 times a year. Something is changing and moving in different locations. And I think we're going to get a little bit of change fatigue here. And that's when I read this and see this, I'm like, okay, yet again, number one, this is a reason why you shouldn't do documentation with screenshots and stuff like that anymore. People don't do that because it's going to change in a few months anyway. Unless that's, updating that documentation is going to make you money, I guess. And then maybe it's some job security. But the second thing is, again, I think a little bit of fatigue here with change and where am I going now to look? And, the way these things roll out, some people in your organization are going to have it and some aren't because of updates and stuff. And just the way who's rebooted, who's done an update, whatever. I don't know. I'm just... let's stick with something for a while.
Yeah, look. Then there are those of us who go, it's just a small change.
Yes, except that, it's, wait, I clicked there and it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Where is it? And so it's, for a user, that experience of I've clicked there, I'm trying to find this. You're in a meeting. You've paused now because you're like, okay, I've got to find... Well, it's not there. Anybody know where the how I toggle the views. I
Mm,
can't anyway.
yeah.
Let's just stick with the UI. Let's put stuff where we want it, and let's stick with it for a while. See if we like it. That's all.
So if you do not like this change, feel free to use the thumbs up or down button and send your message through to the Message Center people, and they'll be sure to pass it on to those who are developing these features.
Just to clarify, when he's talking about the thumbs up or down, he's talking about within the message center,
Yeah.
not in YouTube, not in your
Oh, right.
favorite
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
website that you're listening to this podcast on. No, we only do thumbs up around here for that. But
Very, very content creator aware of you, Daniel. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Shall we get on to the next one?
we should get on with it. Private drafts for SharePoint pages and news. MC 291-100. This is a feature that is rolling out. Targeted release will begin late October until early November, and standard mid-November to late November. And this is what it says. It's private drafts. So being able to, when you go to create a news item or a page, a SharePoint page, you are going to be able to signify that you want that to be a private draft. And there's a checkbox that's going to be there. And when you go then create it, and what that means is only you are going to be able to see this this page or this news item, and admins as well, not other content creators, but you and anyone you share it with. So what's happening in the background, as far as I can gather, and from the page that Darrell is actually pulling up, which is the learn more link at the bottom, is that it's changing permissions on this file. Remember, we're creating a page if we're creating a news, right? It's changing the permissions on this. And then when you go to publish it, it is going to get rid of all those custom permissions, and it's going to inherit the permissions again.
Oh, wow.
So things like if you share permissions with someone, you say, hey, take a look at this page. I want you to look at this. Then they're going to be able to edit it. They don't get a view. There is no view. You're sharing it with them to edit. So there is no view only. And then when you go to publish, those permissions go away. And so it's pretty slick. I think there's some definite things to keep in mind. The content, when you add images, for instance, through the page or news authoring experience, it's automatically putting those in site assets library. And just remember that then when you do share this private draft with someone else, then they're also getting permissions to see those, which they'll need to so they can get the full experience on this. The other thing is the way we used to do this, where it's not the same feature, but we used to do this a lot, where we would give security to only people to be able to see content that they have authored in a library. And so there's a setting in library settings under versioning that if that is selected to where only users who can approve items and those that created it, if that is selected, then this won't work at all. That checkbox won't work. So just to let you know, and there's also a caveat for translation pages. So if you've got translation pages in multiple languages, then those will be shared as well, which is good, but just know that they will be shared as well. So like I said, rolling out pretty soon, and it was good to see some reaction. John on LinkedIn said he was looking forward to this and hearing our take. John, we'd love to hear your take, and feel free to throw those in the comments below. To hear what you think of the SharePoint pages and news private drafts. What do you think, Darrell?
I think it's a more elegant way than going in and removing, let's say, the visitor's permission from a page. I mean, that's worked for some time and it achieves what we want to. But I like that when you do share it, it is truly private. It is allowing people to edit and contribute to it with you. Yeah, good move.
The only thing that I'd like to see, and I don't know if it's on the roadmap. I have no insider knowledge whatsoever. I'd like some co-authoring on pages and news. That
Yeah.
would be sweet. I don't know how they would pull it off with the tech, but I'd love to see that come.
That's
So,
well needed.
yeah. Anyway, up next, Viva Insights.
We're going to get a song every time it's Viva, aren't we? Yes. So it's focus time experience in Viva Insights. While it's in the Teams app, this is all about where it is in Teams. MC291318. I'm using Viva Insights occasionally. I think I use it to check out focus time, for example, or just having a quick look at what's available in Headspace. But this is actually about something. It's more of a focus time experience. So we can go in and we can book our focus time, and it schedules it out, and we can subscribe to one of the focus plans. And that's you've been able to do from within the Viva Insights experience, but it hasn't been within Teams. This update, it would allow you now to control that experience within Teams, but it also lets you go one level further, that when focus time is approaching, a bit like your appointment for a meeting, you get that little reminder, and when you click into this notification, it's going to take you into a focus experience for helping you focus. So if we just have a quick look at just that, it means that you can play some Headspace music if you've got that available, and you can start a focus timer. I've seen friends like Laurie and a few others that have done a bit of work on the Pomodoro technique, and it's all about, almost doing like a sprint of work for 20-25 minutes or so. And so you're able to play this music to get yourself into the zone, courtesy of Headspace, and that's your focus mode. The other experience was here when you're scheduling that time. So yeah, you can go in and schedule the time, choose the block of time that's going to suit you for the day, or get started on a focus plan that books out that time regularly. Daniel, do you use focus time much?
Not through the app. No, I do not.
Right.
I do use music and different types of music depending upon not only the work but also the time of day and everything else. So I have playlist on one of the popular streaming services, and I use that to focus. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it's the same principle, and I think this could be something that people could use similarly to get that focus. So I think, and it would also give you a little more insights. That streaming service doesn't tell me, you're doing these things and at this time, and give me all those analytics like we have here with Viva.
I haven't looked deeper than just the message, but with a lot of these types of apps that are measuring, let's say, heart rate, and when you're doing exercise and all that, the Insights and My Analytics, as it used to be called, was considered the Fitbit for work. And one thing that would close that loop is that it's looking, did you actually go into that focus mode? What was your activity at the time? Let's just get not some invasive telemetry, but just enough to say, did you actually invoke that focus time? Did you go into that notification? Did you actually focus on one task, or were you multitasking and not honoring your own personal focus time? Much
Right.
like honoring and being focused in a meeting, were you multitasking?
Right. Yep.
So this is, when is it rolling out? Update in late November, expected to be finished in early December. Good. All right.
Awesome. Next up, new SharePoint Site templates, retail and non-profit. MC291893. 3. This will be rolling out mid-October, so now-ish, and be completed by late October for those in targeted release. And then for standard, early November through mid-November. And we've talked about site templates before. These are those templates that you add to a site after you've created, whether it's at the beginning when you're first create a site. You can pick a template immediately through that experience, or after you've already started using the site, you can pick a template, and it's in the settings gear, and be able to select the template from there. So we're going to have 3 new templates: retail, nonprofit, and healthcare. One thing I want to kind of clarify here is that the message really focuses on, well, if you are in retail, this will help you. Yeah, but it might actually help you if you're not in retail. Things about store, information. I have clients that are not in retail but have stores. That's what they call them. And they kind of treat them as such when they're doing management, facility management, and communications. That's kind of how they treat it. So all 3 of these, it's kind of like, well, this is what it does. Well, nonprofit, that's great. But this nonprofit template promises to help you access material and connect with volunteers. Well, that's something you can do internally in a company that's not a nonprofit. I mean, that's something. So all that to say, I would advise you to take a look at these templates, and you'll be able to easily, as a site owner, be able to, when you've got a site, maybe you can, if you're not one who provisions, you can ask for a test one, play around with this, see what it does, and see if you can use this in either existing, or you can have some ideas for new sites that would harness the power of these templates. So I like this, Darrell, don't you, of getting these new templates, being able to get ideas from these?
Yeah, I think it is mostly about inspiration. With a lot of templates Microsoft do give you, they've sampled a few things from the customers that have been asking for this feature, and they're giving you a good starting point. I think probably I'm looking forward to the ability to have our own templates and make them a bit easier to get to, our organizational templates. I know that's coming. I think sometimes with these templates, I wouldn't rely on it as this is the thing we're going to use, people. This is just an inspiration, and probably good for an organization that is a bit low on resources for creating and managing this kind of stuff.
I would say 90% of the time when these templates are used, they're changed. I mean, you're gonna change the pages, you're gonna add content, add libraries. I mean, yeah, it's inspiration. It's a starting point to make it your own. For sure.
Okay, what is our last one in the usual section?
It's another SharePoint one. It's a sneaky SharePoint one, but it's a SharePoint.
Kind of. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Microsoft Stream toggles for video and audio owners to manage the feature settings on the new web player, MC291661. SharePoint feature, Daniel? I know why you mean it was. The new Stream is all about storing video and audio content in SharePoint and OneDrive, not separately in this Stream service that I think somewhere sits in Azure. So we're gradually shifting that Stream experience into SharePoint and OneDrive. At the moment, you can record a meeting and your videos will end up there, unless your organization's purposely turned that off for now. So this is a capability where if you have video or audio files and they're stored in SharePoint or OneDrive, as a file owner of that, if you have uploaded it and it's in your OneDrive, or maybe you were the person that clicked record, or basically you've actually instigated the file, you have control over some of the experience that people have when they're playing that back. Now, if it's a meeting, for example, today you can get a transcript going. So that's great. It means that I can read through and see some of the what was said during the meeting. Let's just get this into full screen here. So what? Ooh, yeah, let's just zoom that out a bit. We've got to talk to some people about some consistency around the image quality and size for this message center. That blurry thing in the top right-hand corner there, it's pointing out video settings. And so you can turn those on or off. You can turn the transcript on or off. Yes. No, you can't see it. I've got to change the layout.
There you go.
There we go. Top right-hand corner, video settings, transcript, and comments. Where's the other image as well? Just that expanded view. Here it is. So once you get into that, you can turn on whether transcription and captions are available or whether people can add comments to the video. So this is something that we could do within Stream. And as we've been shifting the location of those files into SharePoint and OneDrive, we've had to do without some of these good features. And now they're back. And so the key thing here is, do we want people to be able to interact with the video by leaving comments? And I wonder where those comments will be. Or transcriptions and captions, are they on or off? And, sometimes in my part of the world, or maybe it's just because I don't speak proper English, that Stream can understand and transcribe, but sometimes the results are laughable. So maybe I do want to turn that off because I don't have time to go back and correct the strange words that it comes up with. Daniel, what do you think about this feature?
I think if you would speak proper English, American English, then it'd probably work better. Just kidding. I like it. I like this more because we're going to see, I believe, more functionality coming into this experience. When Stream 2.0 was announced, there was some thinking in people's minds, and rightfully so. Well, what about the features that are there that we're using? And first thing, what about a landing page of all my videos? How am I going to do channels? But then also user experience, admin experience, or I guess content creator experience of how do I manage this video file when it's just a file now. It's not this file with all this other stuff around it with comments and being able to manage all this kind of. So I like this because hopefully we're going to get more and more control.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll hear more about this as Ignite approaches, that if you want to get into finding out about video recordings and what's happening there. This is not just Teams meetings things either. This is also, just generally the files that you upload. It's also for audio files. So, I don't personally just upload an audio file and have it there available as a podcast and Stream. But it's going to be available there too. So Joe's also interested in where the transcripts might be stored, and also comments. So comments was my interest point there. That today in Stream, it was sitting there as part of the Azure service. When a file is stored within your OneDrive or it's in SharePoint, you get all the goodness of being able to change permissions and move things around. But where are the comments going to be? Are they, stored somehow and move with them?
Well, I think I would guess they're going to be stored the same place other comments on files are.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. That's a great question.
Well, let's move on to our last message, which it's a bit of a curly one, isn't it, Daniel?
I don't know, because I don't know what you mean by that. But this one is Teams support for internal guest user, formerly known as State 3 and 4 accounts. This is MC 291316, and they're going to be changing. This is a good thing for those accounts, and this has to do with B2B. So if you go to looking at information about these State 3 and State 4 accounts, you'll see that this is where external people have an account in your Azure AD. So basically, Microsoft is going to now not only will they have that traditional access to what you've given them access before, but they'll also be able to interact with you in Teams and communicate in Teams. So this is rolling out mid-October, so nowish, and be completed by the end of November. So, I mean, it's pretty simple as that. So if you're using this functionality, then you're going to get even more functionality. When I say this, I'm saying these internal guest users. Then you're going to get more functionality because they're going to be able to interact in Teams.
Very good. Well, that is our last message. We didn't really manage to track down a callback because if we can just have a quick look at just the messages in general, get out of favorite mode, you will see the words updated quite a bit. We've been saying this on and off for the last few months. There's a lot of things that have had to be pushed out, some even to next year. So
yes.
We do find it hard, don't we, Daniel, going back and thinking what has actually landed.
Yeah, it sometimes even trying to find callbacks takes longer than really understanding some of the new messages because we know things that are supposed to come, but then they've been updated 1, 2, 3 times to with their timing of when they're going to be released. And I think that's the case. We were promised a lot for October. If you remember in the summer,
That's right.
And right after the summer, everything was in October. And we made that comment several times of shows where all of the message or many of the messages were saying October. Well, here we are, mid-October, and things are starting to be pushed. Not everything. There's some things being delivered, but just keep track of that. Those of you that are managing and helping enable your users to use functionality, just keep track that when you tell people, hey, things are coming, you need to make sure you let them know that that's the projected time that when it's supposed to be released. There may be updates in the future.
Yeah, honestly, I think today, if you're in that role where you're trying to prepare people for change and we don't actually see enough of the detail to prepare them fully, it's about just preparing as much as you can. So when you've got that little prompt down at the bottom that says you may want to update your user documentation and training, that you just prepare that in draft. You're not going to have any images or anything to capture till things land. But yeah, it's just being ready to pivot as soon as it lands if it's important enough to your organization.
Indeed.
Right.
And make sure you follow us on socials, 365MCS on Twitter, Insta, and LinkedIn.
I saw what you did with the
Facebook.
LinkedIn. Nicely.
What did I do?
You added like the little hashtag 365MCS, so it helps
I did.
to come up in search results.
I did. Make sure you do all the liking and subscribing and sharing. Come on. Let's go ahead and share this podcast, this video with all your friends. And make sure you like us on LinkedIn. There are more people that watch this podcast. There are more people that even listen to the podcast than like and follow our LinkedIn page. So please go on out there and just give us just a little follow, just a little one. It'll be great.
What we hope to do with that is be able to multi-stream. So we'll always be putting our video out on YouTube and engaging there, but we've got to get a certain level of followers on our LinkedIn page so we can do the same there too. And that would be great if you can.
That's right. So, and the last thing I'll say, Darrell, is people should watch if you're on YouTube, you should watch our what do you call it? Our ending here. It has changed. Our ending video. It has changed. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye for now.
See you then. Here we go.